Okay, Alex, what do you think?
I think the whole policy idea is, to be honest, a bit short of a joke. I think that the focus on the military, it isn't going to solve the problems that our military need. Our military have very specific problems. We need to improve our manufacturing. We need to improve our spending, and we've committed to improving our spending. I don't think 30,000 young people is going to make a difference. But to move away from the 30,000 young people who will be joining the military, I think we should talk about the 740,000 young people, 18-year-olds, that the government was essentially saying, we're going to force you to spend 12 weekends a year working for us for free. I think this is the completely
working in the
wrong way.
community, helping people, working in the NHS, learning stuff, local charities, tackling loneliness, supporting older, isolated people. Let's unpick this. The military placements, 30,000 youngsters, as you say, Alex. Residential stays at army barracks, other military facilities around the country. Then, as you rightly say, there's the other stuff. Here's a little quiz for you. Who said this? Who said this? Which leading politician said, I have long campaigned for a national civic service. In a consumerist age, young people need more opportunities to develop an ethic of service to others. In a multicultural Britain, we must bring together young people from different backgrounds to encounter and work alongside each other. For a more altruistic, less parochial youth culture, we need a national civic service.
I'm going to guess that was a Lib Dem or a Labour politician.
It was David Lammy. David Lammy said that.
So but that's very important because he was talking about a voluntary national civic service. And the big thing here, the thing that changes all those nice opinion polls that everyone likes to bring up, say everyone likes the national service. They like voluntary national service. This is compulsory national service. This is forcing 18-year-olds to give up their free time to do this. And I think the problems that the government are trying to address are very serious and very valid. There are problems with how young people engage with their communities, the fact that they feel like they're missing out, the fact that they're suffering from mental health issues. But again and again and again, the government and previous governments' solution to these problems has been to take something away, has been to punish young people. And this is completely opposite to the approach that many of these other countries, we reference Norway, we reference these Scandi countries with these national services. They also have a different way of approaching young people and that they give something to them. I just moved to Belgium. I just found out that because I'm under 25, I get public transport for 12 euros a year. Right? That's the government in Belgium giving me something. And maybe if they said you have to contribute to society in some way, I'd be actually willing to do that in return. But it's a give and take relationship. And Britain, for the last 20 years, has just been taking from young people.
Hamish?
Well, the other caller is obviously very expert in this and young people, and I'm certainly not. I was a young person a long time ago. What I am expert in is military capability. What I recognise at the moment are conventional deterrence is not a conventional deterrence. As the other chap said, yeah, we need to build up our military. But what Ukraine has shown us is that mass numbers really, really matter, and those we don't have, and we need to start thinking about it. And I use the word deterrence. We need to deter Putin. We need to make sure that we do not have war in Europe. And anything we do, even things like this, will help deter him. So I absolutely get about the young people and everything else. And the other guy knows, and I really am not expert, but I do know about the military. And this is part of creating a conventional deterrence that is going to make that tyrant stop in his tracks and turn around. Otherwise, we all will be fighting him in Europe in the next year or so.
Can you conceive of a situation in years to come? Some people may say, oh, Hamish has got it spot on. Others might say, oh, come on, this is all a bit apocalyptic. Whatever. Can you conceive of a situation where we will have people, national service in order for people to join the army and fight a world war?
Well, we did in 1913 and 1939. So, yeah, but the key thing is to prevent it happening, and you prevent war by preparing for it. And we haven't been preparing for it for the last few years for a whole lot of reasons, a lot of other things people want to spend their money on. But unfortunately, at the moment, if we get the defence wrong, everything else that's vexing us at the moment could become horrifically irrelevant.
Yeah, it's very different. It's a very different time from 1913 and 1938.
Is it?
Is
really?
it? Is it?
Well,
Isn't it?
I think there are a lot of parallels, particularly summer of 1939. We've got a tyrant, a fascist tyrant, steaming across Western Europe. I mean, what is the difference in that?
Yeah. Well, coming back in here, Alex. This is quite a thought, isn't it? A chilling thought for a bank holiday Monday.
It is, but I think that this is, I'm going to say, a distraction, because like I said, This is 30,000 people out of a policy that's affecting 770,000. If this policy was just 30,000 people to support the military, we'd be having a completely different conversation, wouldn't we? But that's not what the government's proposing, is it? But, to talk about the military, if we want to talk about that. I'm from Greece, and we also have compulsory military service, mandatory military service. I haven't done mine yet. I'm avoiding it because I know it's a waste of time. At least I think it is. But my friends who have done it, they spent 9 months. They spent 12 months in the military during their mandatory military service. And of that, 90% of the time they spent sitting around on their bums, peeling potatoes, raking leaves. Someone comes, kicks the leaves over, they rake them into a pile again. If you don't actually set this up in a way that's beneficial, set this up in a way that people are actually going to get value out of it, it's just a complete waste of time. Now, it could be that we set it up in the correct way, but I'm not optimistic with how rushed and cavalier the government has been about announcing this policy.
It's going to be a royal commission.
To be honest,
to look at the practicalities of it. And then I think it'll be rolled out in 2029 if the wind is blowing in the right direction for the Conservatives.
At that point, does that really matter then if we're worried about Russia and Putin, if it's rolling out in 2029? Aren't there more pressing things we could focus and spend that £2.5 billion on, improve our manufacturing capability to help Ukraine?
How are you avoiding conscription, national service?
I have an exemption for higher education, so you get to put it off if you go to university.
Right, got you.
But at a certain point, I'll have to make the decision between going back and doing it or staying in another country in Europe.
Okay, so it's obligatory, and your exemptions will eventually run out. Okay.
For Ben.
Yeah. Alex, really interesting. Simon's